Hi everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we are diving into a company that's playing a shell game. It's like watching a magician pull a rabbit out of a hat, except this time it's a subsidiary popping out of DatChat's books. Get ready because we're about to decode what's really going on behind the scenes. DatChat just dropped an 8K filing. This is basically a quick update companies give to the SEC to announce important events. In this case, it's about their former subsidiary, RPM Interactive, going public. We are going to check out that press release now. Before we start, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you subscribe. DatChat just dropped an 8K filing. This is basically a quick update companies give to the SEC to announce important events. In this case, it's about their former subsidiary RPM Interactive going public. We are going to check out that press release now. Later, before what's really going on behind the scenes, DatChat just dropped an 8K filing. This is basically a quick update companies give to the SEC to announce important documents. Make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below, so come join us for more conversations and discussion. Scroll item 8.01. Other QA event scroll kits. The big news here is the press release. RPM Interactive, which used to be part of DatChat, is trying to become its own publicly traded company. This move involves filing what's called an S1 registration statement with the SEC. Think of an S1 as a company's introduction letter to potential investors. This document contains pretty much everything you'd want to know before investing. Let's pull back the curtain and see what the actual press release says. This is where DatChat officially announces RPM Interactive's IPO plans. This press release is essentially a teaser designed to drum up excitement and interest in RPM before they officially offer their shares. So RPM Interactive is planning to offer shares to the public for the first time. This IPO, or initial public offering, is how companies raise capital to fund growth, pay off debt, or allow early investors and founders to cash out. The press release also mentions that the S1 registration statement has been filed with the SEC. Keep in mind, filing doesn't guarantee approval. Now, there's a big disclaimer here. The SEC is still reviewing RPM's S1 filing. This means the IPO is not a done deal. The SEC could ask for changes, clarifications, or even reject the filing if they find issues. It is important for the company to play down the risk here as they do. Investors must be mindful that plans can change because of the SEC, market conditions, or other factors. The press release also makes it clear that they aren't actually selling any shares right now. This is a legal requirement to avoid getting in trouble with the SEC before the IPO is approved. They're basically saying, we're planning to do this, but don't try to buy anything yet. This is how they describe RPM Interactive. They're trying to position RPM as a cutting-edge company in a hot sector, artificial intelligence. Mentioning AI is definitely a way to attract investor attention. Darren Myman, the CEO of DatChat, gives the standard corporate quote expressing excitement about RPM's potential. What else would he say? This part says that the distribution of the press release isn't an endorsement or recommendation of RPM stock. It's just them making an announcement, and they are keeping DatChat separate from RPM. They're telling potential investors to do their own research before investing in RPM. In other words, don't just take their word for it. Read the S1, understand the risks, and decide if it's right for you. Now, what does all of this really mean? DatChat is essentially spinning off a subsidiary, hoping it will be more valuable as a separate entity. It's a way to unlock value by letting RPM focus on its AI business. We don't have visibility into RPM's S1 yet, so it's all speculation, but that's still the point, Kant, so let's break down what they are hoping to get out of this. First, focusing resources by spinning off RPM, DatChat might be streamlining its operations and focusing on other key businesses, which they do not announce in this filing. It lets both companies focus better. Second, attracting investors. AI is a hot topic with investors right now. Positioning RPM as a pure AI play could attract more investment than if it were buried inside DatChat. Third, valuation boost for RPM. As a standalone AI-focused company, RPM might get a higher valuation from investors compared to being part of a more diversified company like DatChat. And fourth, unlocking value for DatChat itself. If RPM does well after the IPO, DatChat's remaining stake in RPM could become very valuable, benefiting DatChat shareholders. Now, this document is signed by Darren Myman, who is the Chief Executive Officer of DatChat. So what's my take on all of this after looking at the document? DatChat's strategy here is pretty clear. They're betting that RPM will be worth more as a separate AI company than it is as part of DatChat. It's a financial move, and it's all about trying to raise money. The potential benefits are significant. If people get excited about RPM's IPO, it could mean a burst of cash for both RPM and DatChat, giving them funds for expansion or additional project scope. Some notable risks here include success of any AI company is never a sure thing. RPM has to prove it can develop and sell AI products. Also, there needs to be a bigger picture of how RPM going public will impact DatChat. Will it leave a hole in DatChat's overall business, or will they be in a better long-term position? My conclusion is that this situation calls for careful analysis if considering investment. If you look at DatChat's position separately, consider whether you see a future for them without RPM. If you're looking at RPMs offering documents, you might want to assess how realistic their growth plans are. You should ask yourself whether the AI hype can turn into real profits, and if it does this company have the management to pull it off? Alright, that's our breakdown of DatChat's latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.